going. So today I'm fixing up Monty our diamond python's enclosure. So I thought might as well make a video on how to set up a nice outdoor enclosure for your big pythons straight from scratch. So it's pretty simple. There obviously are a lot of different cages or aviaries that you can put them in. This is just a standard one from Bunnings that's actually pretty crap, I won't lie. So we've had to dodgy it up a bit and keep a weight on top because they fall apart pretty easy. But while we are in the middle of doing this all up, I'm going to bung some extra screws in and make it a bit sturdier. So I wouldn't recommend these Absco sheds from Bunnings. They're terrible, but I mean it is only 200 and something, 220 bucks or something. So for the size of it, it does give you a massive enclosure. But you just might have to modify it a bit, that's all. Step one is we've added in this garden bedding here. So basically this is just to stop critters and everything getting around. So ants and things, because it's put into a garden bed, obviously. There's going to be microorganisms and moisture and ants and everything that you want to keep away. So this is just going to help put a barrier between that ecosystem and some of the moisture that's going to come into your substrate and things like that as well, because you want to try and still keep it dry like a conventional indoor enclosure. It will also get some rain and whatnot through here, so you don't want anything that's not going to allow drainage, but this is perforated so it still will get some drainage. Yeah, alright, so I'll show you what's next. Just giving it a wipe down now and get rid of any old bits of poo or gunk or anything off. We had like wood, like bits of crate and stuff up here for her to climb, and she's done poos down the back of it. So probably should have done that before doing anything else, but I was getting bitten by the ants, so I thought we'll do this mat first. But now we're just giving it all a good clean before we do it up a bit. So it's time to do the substrate. We've got some sugarcane mulch. Get this stuff from Audi. It's heaps better than any of the crap from Bunnings. So Bunnings stuff's real dirty and dusty and more expensive. So when Audi's got this in the special buy, just stock up on it, and I really love using this. But it's also really good, especially for these outdoor enclosures, because it's great for drainage. So if we do get any water or anything that's coming in, misty rain, it's not going to sit on it, and it's just going to drain right through and then dry out back on top quite easily. So but yeah, we'll chuck this in. So just chuck this in. Might even need, I probably don't have enough here. I'm going to have to go get another bag. So definitely going to have to go and get another bag. It's nowhere near enough because it's going to have to be quite thick. If you want it quite thick, it does break down a bit over time and start to compact, but you just also want it thick so when your snake's moving around and stuff, they're moving, that they don't end up going right through and then sitting on hard ground. So you want it to, they're going to make their own little tunnels and things in there, so you want it quite thick. And because we also, it is outside, you want it a bit thicker than what you would be putting on in an indoor enclosure, because we still do want a barrier from anything that's going to come in and out of here that might cause any dramas, like just little bugs and whatnot. So the deeper down you keep all them, the less likely there is to have anything up the top. Because it's obviously not ant proof or bug proof, it's, you know, it's outdoor enclosure. So you just got to monitor those things and do what you can to mitigate it, but we'll go get some more. So that was the last bag of the Audi stuff. So if you're going to go the Bunnings route, then get this stuff. This is the $18 bag. It is the most expensive one they've got, but it's the better one. There's a $12 bag I've never used, but it's half the size of this, hence why I've never used it. So the two big bags, the $16 bag is that's real dusty and dirty. Just needs to break down real quick to and turn into actual dirt rather than staying as a mulch. So this stuff is a little bit better than the other stuff, but still no Audi job. But yeah, you got to get them in the special buy at Audi and just stock up. So, and when you run out, you're back to Bunnings, your last resort. So you can see the difference. There's the stuff we've just put in, and this is the Audi stuff. Slightly different colour. This actually isn't too bad. It's compared to some of it, but this is, if you lean in this, it's much spikier and prickles you, and it's not as nice to touch compared to this stuff. Is really just soft and beautiful. So I do prefer that stuff. That's why where I put it is not a accident. This is the corner that she gets in and sits underneath the little hide that we're going to make for her. So that is why I chose the comfier stuff for that corner, but the rest of this is still fine, and it is soft, and it'll only get softer over time. So yeah, but that's the bedding, and as you can see, hardly made a dent in that. So this stuff really does go quite far, you know? So if you've got a lot of snakes to look after, especially like we do, then yeah, you really do have to be economic about it. And for $18 you can do a whole bunch of animals and enclosures with this stuff. Picked this up from Audi today though, in the special price, $50. So we're going to give this a go as a background, and yeah, should look alright. Yeah, just walking past, just going there for general shopping, but always keeping an eye out for bargains and things like that. So for $50, it's heaps cheaper than the latticey ones that you'll get from Bunnings. And it's got all this nice stuff in it too. It's not just a uniform colour. It's got all nice flowers and different things, so that's going to look really nice up there. Chuck that in. There you go. And as we spread that out, we go 1.8 meters, so that's going to spread out to, it's not fully open, which is really good because it gives it a bit more density, but it's a little bit low. It looks beautiful down there, but it doesn't quite reach the top. Could probably have maybe actually gone 2 of them and put them vertically, but what we might actually do is we'll just bring this up higher so it does cover the top, because down there we've got our stones and rocks and other decor and things that we can put down there that'll blend this in. So that's what we'll do. So just whack in some screws, one there, one there, one there, and we'll put this up and cable tie it to them. I've just gone into pre-drilled holes, which is why they're on an angle, because they're up there, but look at what, how flimsy these sheds are. That's why I didn't want to go drilling new holes and stuff, just using these holes that are already in there. Because yeah, but anyway, we'll slap this up. So that's up there now. Looks pretty good actually. I like that. So it looks like from the outside. So the only thing I'm thinking now actually is maybe should have put some fake grass in the background. So then you would have actually, it just would look all green instead of any of those silver bits coming through, but I might actually do that. But for the sake of setting this up, we'll continue as it is, and I just might do that next time and give her a clean out. Okay, gonna chuck her little half crate back in that she likes to climb on. It's always sat this way, so but I've got the nice background now, so give it put it here, and then that adds as a side feature then. So I wonder if you want it that way or on that. No, we'll leave it this way. Yeah, I like that. And of course you could put something up on these walls too if you want to get drastic. But yeah, actually just dug the grass out and sat it onto this flat ground. It makes it a lot easier and a lot more stable than what it was doing. So we'll just fill up this bottom patch. Okay, and we'll hold that in with some timbers and whatnot. We'll work our magic in a sec to hold that in, I'll show you. But first, what we want to do is add in these bricks from a retaining wall. Nice, cheap, easy way of getting rocks and whatnot in their enclosure for them. Alright, why buy fake rocks and all that when you can just use recycled materials like this? You don't need to go and spend a whole bunch of money on fake rocks and things like that. Tiles look like rock. Yeah, just different pieces of stone. Reusing, not even recycling, just reusing scrap materials from around the house or wherever you can find. That saves a lot of money. Now we've got some free rocks that are actual stone and they look nice and they didn't cost us a cent. We didn't have to go and spend a fortune on fake rocks and stuff. We're just using bits and pieces that we can find that it's junk to someone else, it's treasure to us. And there you have it. There's a nice little stone hide that she can get into and hide under there. Sit on here, sit on here. Looks really nice. That's just a little bit wet from still being wiped down and that. There is a bit of an opening here, but you could get a tile or something, be imaginative. You could cover that up with some branches and whatnot, get creative. But yeah, little hide box for her that was completely free, just by using materials that we had around. Let's get a nice stone finish on the front. Looks like natural rock there, but it's actually nice, still nice and flat on top to actually be comfortable for her. So yeah, that's cool. That's that height. Alright, so I'm going to put a cross timber here. So I'm going to use this actually to support it, and that's going to hold that in. And then I'm going to use this timber to hold that end up. So that's what we're going to do actually. This on this side here. I'm just going to push that up as far as we can get. Get this timber in down behind you guys, like that. And then if we get it higher, get this timber under, like this. Push it up, like that. Pull this one back down. There we are. We can nail that in if we want to get pedantic. But I am actually trying to minimize the amount of silicone. We could have silicone this on, that screws and all that, because it slowly adds to damage and harder to get undone. Because you might want to change it, so every time I do a big clean at the sink, we try and actually fully rearrange it so it gives them something new, helps stimulate them a bit. It's still all that old stuff that they're used to, but it's just arranged different. This is new, but I like this. This is cool. So I've wedged that into that. It's got pressure going that way, and that's supporting this coming down, and along there we've got this timber supporting that. So now she's got this nice piece of timber that she can sit on. With nail from the other side, or screw from the outside in onto these timbers as well. So that's what you want to do, so you don't just rely on any of these timbers. It's down there, starting to come along, isn't it? Starting to look good. Add this tile in the background there. Just what that does really, not much, but it does just give this ground level that she's on just a full wall effect. It's a bit like some stone, like a rock. She will spend a lot of this time on the ground, so it's starting to get dark, so we'll get the show on the road, but quickly finish it off. So as a few final touches, gonna throw in a couple more tiles, and there goes with the background to make it look a bit more like rock. Don't want it to be able to fall. Yep, that'll hold weight, so she can sit on that. It heats up from the sun when the sun comes in. This is facing east, so she gets all the morning sun comes over, and then she doesn't get that hot draggy afternoon sun. So orientation's important. So she'll be able to sit on this, get some nice sun when it comes through that angle. can hardly see this in real life, this pattern that you can clearly see on the camera. I can actually hardly see that with the naked eye, but now that I'm looking at it, it's horrible, isn't it? Anyway, that blends in pretty nice. This is just an old dog bowl that we use, so to get rid of the dog bowl look, what we actually might want to do is actually dig back down to your flooring, because that way if any of this gets wet, it's just going to help drain it through and not let any of the substrate get too wet and go moldy. So we're just actually burying the bowl. We're just getting fancy now. You can get, obviously, you know, if you want to, you can just get a nice looking bowl that looks like a rock or whatever. But one way of prettying up the situation is to just bury it in. Now it's a little water hole. If you want to get clever, you can put some rocks around the edge there. And I think, like I said, it's limited to your imagination now. Always got to trim back our trees, so just get some real ones and stick them in places, bits of real tree. That way, just gives it a nice, realistic look. And that obviously will die, so you can use fake plants, but I've got a pretty good hoard of that stuff right here. So that just gives it a bit of a finishing touch on that bit. So, shove some more down in there. Shoved it under that, so the weight of this brick is actually holding that in. Just gives a bit. You can put a bit more there and cover this up for her if you want to. But pretty much, that's pretty much it. Okay. So here she is. I'm gonna put her into her house now. Hope you like it, Mont. Alright, here we go. And there you go, Dar. Right, now get. Thank you. Just having a look, sussing it out. Hey, do you like it, Monty? Oh, there's the head. There she comes. Hey.
Yeah? A little?
Just checking out all the new things.
Yeah, it looks way different than it did before.
Yeah. Well, same sort of style, but it's jazzed up a bit.
Don't you like it, Bob? I would.
Yeah.
I do.
It's nice and neater and cleaner and got a heaps nice background now. I love that. She like this timber to climb on.
Oh, so to get her again.
And she'll go straight home to where she likes. Yeah, she knows her spot. The spot's still the same. Little hide box is still the same. How do you like it, Monty? Is it good? Is it good? So there she is, getting used to it. And we'll give her some time to settle in, and we'll come and check on her a bit later and see how she's enjoying her new home. But yeah, it's pretty easy, pretty simple to set up a nice outdoor enclosure, and what this does is it gives her, not only is it big and gives her a lot of room compared to a conventional enclosure, it just gives her the natural, you know, breeze, the wind, some rain coming in, the misty rain that, you know, still makes it feel nice to have a drink. And most importantly, they get the natural sunlight and the vitamin D. So.
Bit on. No, that's breakfast.
So, hope you enjoyed that. We're going to go have dinner now. And there we go, speak of the devil. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope Monty enjoys it too. And yeah, see you next time. We're coming. Yeah, so that's just a quick video and easy way to set up a nice big outdoor enclosure for your animals. When they're this big, it's a good idea to keep them in something massive rather than a tiny little conventional enclosure, because you're a 2 meter snake. So, but yeah, it's a nice, big and nice looking enclosure that didn't break the bank. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.